Hello and welcome back, girl, to another episode of Insufferable with me, your host, Lindsay Howe. Episode 34. Okay, and that is nearly how old I am. Okay, and that's a pretty good number. I must say so myself. I do love the 30s, whether it be age or just, numerology in general. Yeah, 30s are cool. 30s are cool. Weed is tight. Weed is tight. Yeah, welcome back. How has everyone's week been? After the old full moon in Cancer, I hope you're feeling better. Do I know what the full moon in Cancer entails? No, I do not. Okay, I am pretending to know. I am going based on my vibes. Okay, it is pretty obvious when you think about it later, a little clarification later down the line to be like, why the hell was I feeling so shitty and gloomy and terrible? Well, it turns out the most emotional sign was in the stars while the moon was full. So that is kind of how it goes down up there. So, yeah, I think a lot of people were sick last week, coming down with a little cold situation. I woke up kind of with like a swollen throat, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't sore, but it was swollen. I'm not sure if you can hear it in my voice, but I've got a little nasally going on. A little mucus, TMI. But the full moon is over, so I do not think that the stars have anything to do with me being a little mucusy today. But you know what? We are home today. We are off the gym. Okay, we are working right now. Okay, this is technically my job. Do I get paid for it? No, I do not. But it's okay. I get paid to exist, girl. I get paid to exist. Okay? Money flows to me freely. I do not have to work for it. Okay? Did it look like I believed that? Because I'm trying to embody that. You got to feel it on like a visceral level, and I'm really trying to hone in on that. Okay, I've been having some good tarot readings, by the way, with my woo woo self. I gave myself a couple of readings last night, and they were very profound. Yet again, I feel very connected to spirit when I am on the tarot reading vibe of it all. Okay, when I sit down and I do all of the woo woo shit you're supposed to do, I light my Palo Santos and I cleanse the area. I thank the cards. I am very woo woo these days, and it is really getting me through it, girl. I've been having a good ass time. Call me a witchy bitch, because that's just who I am now. Okay, we are moving into the witch era, and I'm really excited about it. But yeah, I'm home today. I am nesting. Okay. Just did a little cleanup. I ate a little girl lunch. Girl lunch, girl dinner, girl meals are the only way I like to eat. I'm not gonna lie. I do not really like sitting. I don't like sitting down for a meal. I'm not that interested in that. I want to stand at the counter of my kitchen and snack on the plethora of items that I have. And will I plate it? No, I will not. No, I will not. I'm going to have everything in their original vessel spread out like a fucking, buffet. And I'm going to snack that way. And I be snacking in a very, conscious way, but I do not want to plate it and have a meal. So I will literally have like my cherry tomatoes and my baby cucumbers and my hummus dip and my little circle brie cheese. Okay. I have my little iced tea or my little DC over here. Maybe I have some salami or pepperoni or some kind of, maybe rotisserie chicken or something. And then like a jar of pickles and a jar of, garlic stuffed olives or whatever. That's all on the counter in their original vessels. And I am just drinking from each one of them. And that is the gloriousness of living alone, dude. You know, when you were growing up, say you had a brother or a sister. It's usually a brother thing. Oh, excuse me. And they be drinking straight from the gallon of milk with their dirty, nasty mouth, drinking straight from the carton, a communal carton. That shit'll fucking piss me off. That shit'll fucking piss me off. And I've only had 3 roommates in my whole life. Okay? One of them I didn't really know. You know, the other one was a partner, and then the other one was like my best friend. So technically I never really had to worry about this. But deep down, I'd be worrying about living with people and they be drinking out of my fucking milk when I'm not around, straight out of the carton. That shit is not okay with me. But it is okay when I live alone. Okay, I'm the only one drinking from this carton. I do not offer these drinks. You know, if someone comes over to my house for whatever reason, we do not really be having company over here at my house that often. But if someone does come over here, I am not going to offer them a glass of milk. I'll tell you that. Okay? We have beautiful, purified water on the stand over there. It's not in the fridge. It's on the little fucking dispense thing. You go, I will offer you water when you come here. If you want a tea, I will brew you a nice tea. But I'm not going to offer to put milk in it because I know what I do with my milk cartons here at the house. Do I ever really drink from a milk carton? No, I do not. No, I do not. But it's good to have the freedom to do that because you do not have to worry about someone else, you know, being grossed out by that. And that is also the, the glory of living alone. Everything in the fridge is yours. You do not have to share it. Okay? And sharing is caring. I'm not worried about sharing. You know what I mean? Don't get me fucking twisted like I don't want to share. But I don't have to share because nobody comes over here. You know what I mean? I share with Frank, my dog, on very rare occasion. I will give him, you know, a French fry or something that I got over there on the counter. I was going to say on the plate, but I don't even fucking be using plates, dude. Every time I sit down to make a fucking meal, it is disgusting. It's nasty. And really, when I was making it, I was like, I'm fucking cooking, bitch. Let me cook. I'm like, damn, I'm really going to like put a little fucking red pepper flakes in this. It's gonna fucking really make it pop. You know, I'm gonna put cilantro and lime in my rice. Gonna make it fucking pop, bitch. I ate that shit nasty. Girl, nasty. I'm getting better, but I just do not have the passion for cooking. I don't. I have a little sliver of a passion for baking, but, you know, as we all know, we cannot be baking in the house all the time, especially when you live alone and there's no one there to shame you for eating 16 damn cookies in one sitting, girl. Somebody needs to come and shame me for something like that. You know what I mean? It is dangerous. Baking fresh cookies in the house alone. No willpower over here when it comes to warm chocolate chip cookies. All of my willpower is to the wind or whatever they say. So if there's warm cookies on the fucking counter, I'ma eat them. I'ma burn my mouth. I have no patience. You know what I mean? I just do not have the ability to just eat 1 or 2 cookies, in a sitting. So I can't be baking here all the time. And for New Year's, I made a brown butter chocolate chip cookie with toffee bits inside, as well as chocolate chips. There was also toffee bits. It did way too much. I thought it was going to eat. I thought I was going to be like, I am serving the best fucking cookie anybody's ever seen. It did not eat, girl. There was so much sugar in one cookie that it was giving we all need to go to the hospital to get checked for diabetes if we're going to eat one of these. And everybody in my family's got diabetes, low key. And so I be scared I'm going to get diabetes at some point, and I do be having a sweet tooth. I mean, look at me, girl. You think I ain't got a sweet tooth? I do. I do. So you know what? We keep our distance. We keep our distance from the sweets. So I do not nurture my passion for baking here at the house. Okay? I don't really be doing that. But yeah, New Year was really nice actually. My mom made black eyed peas, which we've never had before. It's not a tradition in our family, but it should be because the shit fucking slapped, dude. She really fucking did her big one with that meal. Black eyed peas with andouille sausage, like spicy sausage and bacon and ham and mixed green, like collard greens and spinach and like all kinds of, and then she made rice on the side and she made this fucking cornbread, bitch. Oh my God. It was probably normal cornbread. We all be using the Jiffy mix, no shade on Jiffy mix cornbread. That is, they do their big one as well when they make that. But she did that and then she put like honey butter on top of it when it got out. So it was like, girl, it was so buttery and soft and sweet and honey. And oh my God, this is like one of the best meals I've ever had. It really is. And that's saying a lot. Well, I guess it's not saying a lot because every meal I have is like the best meal I've ever had. Because I do not make good meals here at the house. I don't. I want to, but I do not have it in my DNA, dude. I wish I could be like a Maddie Matherson vibe where it was like super chill and you're just kind of throwing shit together and you've got all this knowledge in your head about food and pairing flavors and he loves food, obviously, like, he's a big jolly fucking awesome dude and when he makes something, you take one look at him and you can trust him. Like they say, don't ever trust a skinny chef. Maddie Matherson is not giving that to. He is giving jolly and smart and with lots of knowledge on food. And I wish I could embody that. But I cannot. So, and I don't want to say I cannot, but I have tried for years now. Okay. I've been trying to make good meals at home, meal prepping, cooking stuff that I could take to work with me, and have like a nice, healthy, balanced meal for my lunch at work. Every day, disappointed as fuck to have to eat the thing that I brought. I just want to go to the corner fucking Mexican spot and get a carne asada burrito, but it costs freaking $9 every time, and you can't do that 5 days a week. At least we can't over here. And so, yeah, cooking a meal, it's a New Year's resolution. It's an in. But the odds are not in my favor. I do not think we're going to do a good job with that. But hey, I am, I get paid to exist. Everything works out for me. Everything works out for me. Everything works in my favor. Okay? Yes, girl. So maybe we will be good at cooking, by the end of the year. I'll give myself until December. How about that? How about I give myself until December to make a decent meal? That's a pretty good amount of time. So there's that. Anyways, in other news, I finished Heated Rivalry last night. And I was a mess. So I watched episode 5 and I talked about that last week on last week's episode. We talked about episode 5. Well, I don't know if we talked about episode 5, but hey, spoilers, I'm late anyway. If you don't know what happens on the show, it's been over for quite some time now, a couple of weeks. So you are late. I was late. There are spoilers here. So it is what it is, like fast forward if you don't want to hear about heated rivalry. Anyways, episode 5 I saw was the highest rated episode in television history or some shit. I mean, they are really doing their big one with this show. And like I said last week, the story, the dialogue, the story is written so well and so like people were really saying like they were in their bring back yearning bag last year, and like for the last couple of years, like after Bridgerton came out, people were like, oh hell yeah, dude, we want to see yearning, we want to see love stories, like, and the straight ones, like I said last week, are boring and they're played out. I do not want to see another straight couple falling in love. It is played out. However, heated rivalry, I will watch a million seasons of that. And I did not want to watch episode 6, even though I did not know it was the last episode. 6 episodes is not enough. First of all, let's take a side gander right now, and I'm speaking to anyone who's making shows right now. 6 episodes, bitch. 8 episodes. What is your fucking problem? Shows used to have 12 episodes per season. Some shows had 15 episodes per season. We're dwindling down episodes on really good shows, let me add. You are really going to do 6 episodes. And I have no beef with heated rivalry, by the way, and the people who made it and everyone involved, okay? While this is directed toward you, I ain't got no beef with you. But we need more episodes per season. And I feel the same way about Pluribus, okay? I just watched Pluribus on Apple TV. Everyone was telling me it's really great. We love Vince Gilligan around here, the creator of Breaking Bad. And, the actor who is the lead, she was in Better Call Saul. So I said, okay, this does seem like it is my vibe. So I watched it. It was a very slow burn. And a lot of the climactic moments were sort of thwarted in a way. And I don't want to get too many spoilers on that, even though it has been out and over for quite some time. You should be able to, you should have watched it by now, but I was late watching it too. So here we are again with the same conversation. But it really was only 8 episodes. And that has been going on with different shows. 8 episodes in a season, I'm telling you right now, is not enough. Okay? And in a couple years' time, everyone's going to have 6 episodes per season. Heated rivalry. Okay? And then a couple years after that, we're going to be down to 4 episodes per season. And then everything is going to be a limited series. And that is going to piss me off. It all goes back to this bullshit thing that they have going on right now in Hollywood, where they need to write stories that you can follow while you are also on your phone. And that bums me out. It bums me out. I need some compelling storytelling going on. I need character arcs and twists and turns and what the fuck, dude? Writers know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They're probably not getting paid enough, and they do not want to they do not want to eat in the writer's room. They do not want to put it down like that. Probably because they're not getting paid enough. And you know what? It's solidarity. To you. I feel that, and I don't want to work hard either. I ain't gonna lie, I do not want to work hard. But it's also one of those things where it's like you work really hard on a project, you're a writer, and then you sell the show to people who make the movies, what do you call them? Production companies or whatever. And the production companies take your story after they bought it and then they dumb it down even more. Stop dumbing shit down. Stop dumbing shit down. You are pissing me off. Okay? We are seeing the art of filmmaking. It's like fleeting, you know? And it's fucking sucks. And it's all about the fucking money. It's all about the bag. But I was watching Stavros, is that his name? On Caleb Heron's show a couple of days ago, and they were kind of talking about this situation too, about how production companies are just fucking making it impossible for you to make a fucking movie, and then turning around and like you can't make anything without funding. So you have to kind of bend to the will of these fucking production companies so you get the funding to make what you want. And then when you get in there, they don't want you to make what you wanted to make. They want to dumb it down even further, and they're going to make it easier for the audience to digest. Okay, these audience members, they do not need to be eating in the theater if they cannot digest the story. Okay, you're not included. If you can't fucking think, with your head, you're out. You're not invited to the theater. You know what I mean? Why ruin it for everyone else? I'm not scrolling on my fucking phone in the theater, and if you are, I'm pissed. Will I say anything? No. But I am pissed. I will go like this. That's about all I'll do. It reminds me of I don't know if I can tell that story. I will tell that story. I'll see if I figure I don't know if I told this story on the fucking pod before. So I will refrain from telling it. But anyway, let's move on. It's really hard to know what I've said on here and what I haven't. I don't want to be telling the same story every time I fucking tune in. But low key, I don't remember what I say ever. So, but yeah, anyways, Heated Rivalry. I do have beef that there was only 6 episodes. However, we do know that there is going to be 3 seasons. Now, from what I understand, they are based on books. And there's like 5 or 6 books or something like that. So yes, we are getting more seasons of Heated Rivalry. Thank God. But yeah, there are books and da-da-da-da. And you know what? I really wish I could read some books. I fucking hate reading, dude. You will not catch me reading no fucking book, dude. And if you do, it's because it's a cry for help, to be honest. It's a cry for help. I've hit rock bottom if I have begun reading. I'm just gonna say that. Not a big book reader over here. Love book readers. I love it. I love a book club. I love the idea of a book club. Like, that's really cool. But yeah, it's not for me. Reading is not for me. And that's embarrassing to say. I'm not going to lie. I've read like, 3 books in my whole life. I know. Girl, you did not have to sigh like that. You did not have to go, oh my God. Yeah, girl, I know. Okay? And I will name said books. Okay? I read Where the Red Fern Grows in 3rd grade. Couldn't even tell you what it was about. But you know why I read it is because, I'm going to Google it right now. I wonder if they made a movie out of it. Where the Red Fern Grows. This movie, yeah, dude, it was about this dog. Okay, it is a children's novel, which is crazy because I'm going to tell you why I read it. Anyway, Where the Red Fern Grows by Wilson Rowles is a classic children's novel about a boy named Billy Coleman and his two red-bone coonhounds, Old Dan and Little Ann, set in the Ozark Mountains during the Great Depression. The story follows Billy's journey to earn money for the dogs, train them to become the best hunting team in the valley, and experience the deep bond of friendship, love, and ultimately loss, exploring themes of determination, perseverance, and the cycle of life. Okay, I fear the dogs may have passed away in the story. I do not remember. Okay, it was the third grade, but here's why I read it. It was one of the books that had the coolest cover on it, okay? On the cover, the kid is wearing overalls, which I always love. They did make a movie out of it, actually, and I don't remember if I ever saw it because it does not look familiar to me. But anyway, yeah, and in the movie, or in the book, the word bitch is in the text. Okay, and once everyone found out in my third grade class that this fucking book said bitch, oh, it was on, girl. I needed to see it. I needed to see it in the flesh. I needed to find the word. I needed to, what did I have to do? Read the whole fucking book to figure it out? So during class one day, there was this girl who like sat adjacent to me or whatever. And I had the book in my hand. And it was during class, right? So I had to whisper. And I was like, where does it say bitch? What page? Because I needed to see it. It was so crazy that we had this literature in our class. Crazy. I said, what page? And she turned around to me and she said, 12 times 12. She answered me in a fucking riddle. That bitch. But you know what? That's a core memory because I will always remember that 12 times 12 is 144. And I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. Okay? And when she said that to me, I low-key thought she was like kidding. I'm like, did she say 12 times 12 instead of just telling me the fucking page number? Does she think I'm fucking stupid? She probably did think I was stupid, okay? I was not really that smart in school. But I was cool and I was funny. And that's kind of all we can wish for at the end of the day. But she said 12 times 12. I said, okay. I turned to page 144 and there it was in the flesh. Bitch. Yeah, girl. Yeah. Risque. You know, no one had ever seen something like that. You know. And this is, 1996. No, maybe like 1997, 1998 maybe. This book probably came out in the fucking 20s or some shit. Let me see. 1961 this book was from. And so, yeah, there I am in class doing fucking multiplication in my head to figure out where I can find the word bitch in this book. Okay? These are my core memories when it comes to reading. Okay? Here's my second core memory when it comes to reading. I read The Secret Life of Bees. Secret Life of Bees. Okay. This, no, I want the book. Secret Life of Bees is a 2002 coming-of-age novel by Sue Monk Kidd set in South Carolina in 1964 about a 14-year-old Lily Owens who escapes her abusive father with her caretaker Rosaline and finds refuge with three black beekeeper sisters, August, May, and June, in Tiborn, a town connected to her deceased mother's past, exploring themes of race, loss, and female community. Okay? So this was 2002 when this book came out. That's probably around the time that I read it. I think I was in middle school when I read this book. I was so obsessed with this book. I was so obsessed with the name Lily. And I finished the book, something I had only done once before in the third grade, as I previously spoke about, Where the Red Fern Grows. So I finished this book. And at the time, too, I was gung-ho to be in the film industry, okay? I was like, I'm going to be an actor. That is what I'm going to do. This is, I'm going to write movies and shit. So what did I do? I began to adapt a screenplay for The Secret Life of Bees. Yes, I was like 13 years old. 12 or 13 years old. I read this. I said, I need to make this into a movie. It's such a good story. It's so compelling. Like, I love the story. I love, like, we could have a, fucking sick ass cast. Like, in my 12-year-old brain, I was like, wow, I'm really going to fucking write this movie. I started to write the screenplay for this movie. Okay. At the time, my dad was doing like a film with doing low budget filmmaking with this group of people. So I kind of had an idea on how to write a screenplay, so I began to write one. Okay. Did I finish it? No, I did not. I didn't even get that far into it. I probably started like who I wanted to be cast in it and stuff like that. I'm always cast first. That's kind of how I always do stuff. When I think about like writing, movies or TV or something like that, I'd be thinking about that first. But anyway, I didn't get that far into it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say like I went over here and wrote a whole fucking script. But during my, writing of the screenplay, I saw a damn trailer. Well, it wasn't during, I guess, because this was in 2008. But in 2008, I saw a fucking trailer for the brand new film, The Secret Life of Bees, starring Queen Latifah and Dakota Fanning, Queen Latifah, Jennifer Hudson, Alicia Keys. I couldn't even have thought of a better cast for this fucking movie. And I was sitting on the couch and I seen this trailer and I was like, they stole that from me. Bitch, it was already a book. Shut the fuck up. But this is what happens. This is a lesson that I needed to learn. Did I learn it? No, I did not, because I still be doing this to this day. To this day. I be having a sick ass idea that no one else has thought of. I know no one else has thought of it because they came out of my brain naturally, okay? This is an original idea. If you do not execute that idea as soon as you possibly can, someone else is going to think of the idea, okay? We are living in a simulation. These ideas are not as original as you fucking think they are. So if you do not act on your idea, the simulation will give someone else the idea and they will act on it. Okay? Usually the person who puts it out first is the one who has money to do so. Okay? Always been a struggle of mine ever since I was in middle school. Okay? So I really thought they jacked that from me. And I never even saw the movie. I was so pissed. I've never even seen this movie, even though it's one of my favorite books. And I should see the movie. It's probably sick. You know, who plays the good dude, this is a good cast. It's a good cast and they really fucking did it big like that. I'm gonna watch it actually. I'm gonna watch The Secret Life of Bees. Fucking, you know what? It's gonna be another fucking whole situation where this is a movie from 2008 and I can't find it anywhere and I can only rent it for $4.99 type shit. It better not be that bullshit. But I was so inspired by that story that I started writing like a, you know, nonfiction story about a girl named Lily. Of course, I jacked the name. And I was writing the story and I was uploading like chunks of the story, like chapters at a time, week to week, on Zanga. You guys fucking remember Zanga? Zanga. It was a blog. How can I access my old blogs? Oh my god, Zanga.com. Zanga 2.0? No, give me the original. I bet I could fucking get my fucking Zanga. Lord knows if I can get in there. But I was writing the stories, you know, like one or two chapters at a time and uploading them on my Zanga, and people were following me on there and like getting really invested in the storyline. This girl that I used to be good friends with in elementary school, Jasmine, after I stopped uploading, like I stopped writing the story, I kind of just like ditched the whole thing, of course, because, I have commitment issues, I guess. She used to text me or call me every now and again and be like, when are you going to fucking upload the rest of the goddamn story on your Zanga? I'm on the edge of my fucking seat, girl. You left us on a cliffhanger. I need to know what happens to Lily and her man. Girl, the whole thing was done from there. I never uploaded again. She was kind of the only person that was like, hey, like, what's the fucking update on Lily? And I never finished it. So that is the other book that I have read in my life. Okay. And I think I said I read 3 books. I don't even remember the last one. I did read the whole 30, when I first started on my, disordered eating, chapter of my life. When I first started EDing, I read the whole 30. The whole 30 is still a good book. It's still very informative. But the whole 30 is kind of just like a very intense diet. And it really was the beginning of my spiral into ED, so I'm glad we're not EDing anymore. We just do not have time for that around here. That's why I be eating girl dinner whenever I want to, and I can't cook, I guess. Maybe that's why. But anyways, yeah. So not a big reader. So no, I have not read Heated Rivalry, and no, I will not be reading Heated Rivalry. I am trying my best to read this big book of tarot. Excuse me. There are a lot of chapters like that don't have anything to do with like the card. I mean, there's a thing for each card in there. So when you do a poll, you there's a whole page and you can read all about the card that you pulled or whatever. But there's also several chapters in there about what kind of polls to do, how like different numbers of polls, like 7 card polls or whatever. Like, it could get pretty intense, like with the information. So I've been trying to read that. And even then I'm like, girl, I'm exhausted. I'm sorry, girl. I cannot be doing that much. Reading is just not for me. It's not for me, and it is what it is. I think it's pretty dark in here, so I think I'm going to wrap this up. I look pretty cute today, do I not? If you're watching on YouTube, what do you think? Actually, don't answer that. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up there, guys. Thank you so much for tuning back in to Insufferable with me, your host, Lindsay Howe, episode 34. And if you haven't, please go watch Heated Rivalry. It will change your fucking life. And you will be crying. And if you're the type of person who's like, I don't want to watch stuff that's going to make me cry, you're probably going to kill somebody someday because you just be suppressing too much of your emotions. Sometimes you need a little, a movie score and an intense, like scene between two people where there's a lot of like sexual and emotional tension between them to get you to release your own tension. Sometimes that's just what it takes, and that's okay. That's what cinema is here for, okay? If you are not being moved by the cinema, then you're not really living. And while that might sound really dramatic, I don't fucking care. I am really, really big on being moved by art, and I refuse to let that go. Okay? We are being moved by art, and that is what we do here on this planet. Okay? And don't get it fucking twisted. And don't send me no AI slop either. Don't fucking piss me off. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in yet again, and I will see you next week. Bye.